We start removing the sand, and we found it was a shaft. It's a shaft, and we are trying to find out what it lead us.
I have to explore this door.
Recent discoveries near Alexandria in Egypt have stirred the archaeological world, potentially bringing us closer to Queen Cleopatra's elusive tomb. What's been discovered near the great city of Alexandria may force academics to re-evaluate their understanding of the famous Egyptian queen and the socio-political climate of her. But what exactly was found? And how will it impact our interpretation of one of the greatest queens of ancient Egypt? To know, stay till the very end of the video. The discovery of Cleopatra's lost tomb would stand as the most momentous archaeological breakthrough in the 21st century. Despite over a century of relentless efforts by Egyptologists to unveil the resting place of the Ptolemaic queen, success has remained elusive. Enter Kathereene Martinez, a former lawyer turned archaeologist who has dedicated the past 2 decades to this formidable quest and may now be on the brink of a historic revelation. Cleopatra's life has long fascinated Martinez, with influences ranging from Shakespeare's play sparking her initial interest. Transitioning from a legal career, Martinez assumed a leadership role in the Egyptian Dominican archaeological mission, marking a significant chapter in the ongoing search for Cleopatra's tomb. Dr. Kathereene's belief. She had spent years researching everything she could about Cleopatra and developed a fascinating hypothesis on where she believed the Egyptian queen could be buried. Her initial thoughts were based on the idea that if Cleopatra was a follower of the god Isis, then it's most likely she would have been buried in a temple dedicated to this Egyptian deity. So, in 2002, Kathereene made her first trip to Egypt to visit some of the possible sites for Cleopatra's burial and even had a meeting with the then Minister of State and Antiquities Affairs of Egypt, Zahi Hawass. Kathereene took with her a map of conceivable sites where Cleopatra could be buried, using the writings of Greek geographer and historian Strabo as a reference. She came up with 21 locations, and after carefully examining the potential sites, she was drawn to an ancient temple on the outskirts of the great city of Alexandria. This was the temple of Taposiris Magna, the place she had been searching for. For centuries, the assumption prevailed that Cleopatra's body rested within her city, Alexandria. Kathereene, however, proposed a compelling theory that Cleopatra desired to be taken away from the city upon her death. According to legend, Cleopatra and Mark Antony, facing defeat by the Roman Emperor Octavian, took their own lives. Kathereene posits that their bodies were then transported from Alexandria to an undisclosed religious temple. This temple, she believes, is situated in the Ptolemaic ruins of Taposiris Magna, located 50 kilometers west of Alexandria. After a brief visit in 2002, Kathereene, unable to shake her fascination, returned to the Dominican Republic, dedicating every spare moment to researching the Temple of Taposiris Magna. As her interest intensified, she made the monumental decision to leave her legal practice behind and fully commit to archaeology and the pursuit of Cleopatra's tomb. With the support of the Universidad Católica Santo Domingo, Kathereene formulated a project and planned to relocate to Egypt for excavation once she secured a permit from the Egyptian government. This marked a historic milestone, as it became the first instance in history that the Egyptian Ministry of Archaeology granted a permit to a Latin American country, authorizing excavation on Egyptian soil. The full excavations. Excavations commenced at the Taposiris Magna site in 2004, primarily funded by Kathereene Martinez herself. In 2005, she returned to the Dominican Republic, where she assumed the role of the first Minister of Culture to Egypt, securing the continuation of excavations at Taposiris Magna. Despite initial skepticism from various archaeologists and Egyptologists who deemed the site an unfinished temple, Kathereene held a divergent view. She believed the temple had fallen into disrepair due to earthquakes and violent attacks in the past, ultimately leading to its neglect. As excavations progressed, Kathereene and her team uncovered significant indicators of the site's historical importance. Among the early finds were 2 subterranean chambers within the temple walls, followed by the discovery of a cell adorned with hieroglyphs and Demotic writing, suggesting its past sanctity. The pivotal discovery, however, occurred in 2018, more than a decade into the excavation efforts. Kathereene Martinez and her team revealed the recovery of over 800 archaeological items, the identification of a large cemetery, and a remarkable cache of gold coins featuring the likeness of Queen Cleopatra. Further revelations included the unearthing of 15 catacombs, 800 bodies, and 14 mummies, instilling a high level of confidence in Kathereene and her team regarding their proximity to Cleopatra's tomb. Subsequent to these findings, the site presented a series of intriguing and unsettling discoveries. In 2021, collaborating archaeologists made a significant breakthrough, unveiling 16 burials in rock-cut tombs, a burial practice popular during the Greco-Roman era. Each revelation brought Kathereene Martinez and her team closer to unraveling the mystery of Cleopatra's final resting place. The treasures. Within the tombs, the team unearthed mummies dating back approximately 2,000 years, between 300 and 640 BCE. However, what set these mummies apart were the peculiar contents inside their mouths, solid gold tongues. The gold tongues are believed to have held spiritual significance for the people of that era, possibly connected to communication with Osiris, the Egyptian god of the dead. Apart from the mummies with their golden tongues, various intriguing items were discovered in proximity to the burials. This included golden scarab beetles, lotus flowers, pottery glues, and tar used in the embalming process. 2 additional mummies were found, one adorned with beautifully decorated plaster layers featuring golden depictions of Osiris. Scholars delved into partially intact scrolls found alongside the mummies, hoping to uncover clues related to Cleopatra. The excavation also revealed well-preserved statues believed to represent important figures buried in the Taposiris Magna temple. This wealth of artifacts and their symbolic elements contributes to the understanding of ancient Egyptian beliefs and practices, providing valuable insights into the spiritual and funerary customs of the time. While the search for Cleopatra's tomb continues, the discoveries at Taposiris Magna enrich our knowledge of this historical period. Other findings. Other treasures discovered in the burial shafts alongside the mummies include 8 marble masks and 8 golden flakes that were once part of a golden wreath. It is impossible to date these relics to a particular year, but they were almost certainly buried sometime during the era of Greek rule, which lasted from 305 BC to 30 BC. While this was considered a huge advancement in the search for Cleopatra's tomb, no one was ready for what Kathereene and her team would discover next. Kathereene and her team painstakingly continued working on the site over the next few years, and out of nowhere, they came across a huge discovery that shocked the archaeological world. The team released a statement back in November 2022 that they had discovered an underground tunnel that ran for some distance underneath the ancient temple of Taposiris Magna, the Hidden Tunnel. Situated nearly 13 meters below the surface, the tunnel stretches an astounding 4,281 feet, equivalent to the length of 12 football fields. This remarkable passageway leads to an expansive religious center featuring 3 distinct sanctuaries, a sacred lake, and a treasure trove of over 1,500 artifacts, including busts, statues, and gold coins. Notably, numerous coins bear the likenesses of historical figures such as Alexander the Great, the Ptolemies, and even Cleopatra herself. The academic and Egyptological communities buzzed with excitement over these discoveries as they held the promise of potentially unveiling Cleopatra's elusive tomb. The tunnel, extending to the Mediterranean Sea, has some portions submerged underwater, likely affected by seismic activity that compromised the structural integrity of the temple and its subterranean passages, leading to collapses. Esteemed as an architectural masterpiece, the tunnel's construction is believed to resemble the renowned Eubolinus Tunnel in Greece. This revelation further fueled Kathereene and her team's enthusiasm, suggesting that the tunnel might have been engineered by the Greek Ptolemy dynasty in Egypt, modeled after the Eubolinus Tunnel, adding another layer of historical significance to their ongoing archaeological exploration. Now we have to patiently wait to see if Kathereene Martinez and her team will ever find the burial place of Cleopatra. While academics certainly don't dismiss the idea that she and her lover, Mark Antony, could be buried in a portion of the underground tunnel that now lies under the Mediterranean Sea, there is no actual evidence to this day that suggests they are. Time will certainly tell, but considering that the Temple of Taposiris was a major place of worship for Osiris and Isis and a sacred place for the Ptolemaic dynasty, of which Cleopatra was part. Thus, many academics do believe that Kathleen Martinez and her team's discovery may eventually lead us to the long-lost tomb of one of Egypt's most beloved queens, Cleopatra. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Share your thoughts about the video in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and press the bell icon for all future updates. See you next time.